rules will require organizational capacity. So I'm not opposed to building the organizations that can provide that capacity. And in fact, I argue that it's essential. Anytime I get didactic and say to my students, these are the rules, and they actually look at books like Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals and the Midwest Academy's Book of Strategy for Social Change, I get pushback from students, particularly law students, because all we do in law school is teach people how to deconstruct rules, and that's an important rhetorical skill. Rules are useful if we understand that in interpreting and making these rules work for us, we have to have a compass. And that's the last thing I want to talk about. The compass is the utopian vision. We have to know that a better world is possible and to have a specific picture of what it's going to look like. So in the beginning of the semester, I ask each student to go up to the board and write one thing that they would like to see in the world to come, that better world that we don't have now. And some of the things they write down are big and obvious. No one should have to die of a preventable disease, one of my students wrote. And I know this is a student who lost her father to illness. Everyone should have adequate housing. Every child should have access to literacy. The obvious things. And then sometimes they write little idiosyncratic things. A student once wrote, we should give a house in the neighborhood to every teacher within walking distance of the school they teach at, so that the students could see the teachers living and working in the community. A couple semesters ago, a student put down that we should treat all sentient beings as our equals. And I couldn't resist asking him, David, what about mollusks? And he said he's not sure how sentient mollusks were, but he would not write them off. One year I went up to the board and wrote that I wanted a tool library. And when they asked me what that meant, I said, well, a place where you could get a table saw or a serger so you wouldn't have to go out and buy one for yourself if you were only going to use it every 6 months.